Hello and welcome back. I know I keep saying on Instagram I'm going to make more YouTube videos and I keep not because it's been quite the busy summer. But summer is almost over. We are now in Chicago. Yay! We're so happy about it. And I'm just waiting on school to start. But I have a little bit more time and I really wanted to focus more on making some content for you all. And I'm super excited about it. So I wanted to start today with doing like a little health, wellness, fitness Q&A. So I did ask some of you on my Instagram to send me your questions. So I'm going to start with those and then I'm going to dive in a little deeper at the end to how fitness works for me. So I'll just get going. My first question is, what healthy regime do you follow? So this is an interesting question because I try to just like live a healthy lifestyle, which I feel like you hear a lot of people saying these days. And I'm sure it's healthy for them. But for me, it's just something that I don't focus solely on like, I have to work out X amount of days a week. I have to stick to X diet. And follow these certain macros and whatever. It's more just about like doing what feels good to my body. I try to move as much as I can. Got a Fitbit, love it, would recommend, 10 out of 10. And so I just try and like move a bunch. So if I'm not gonna work out one day, I'll make sure I go on a walk or take the dogs on a walk or whatever it is. But I just try to make sure that I'm moving and being active every single day. Along with that, I also like to eat in moderation, I guess. So I'm not like super strict with any diet, but I eat healthy, I guess. All right, next question is, I actually have quite a few people ask this, what I eat day to day. So I think I'm going to actually do a what I eat in a day vlog later, coming soon. Watch out for it. Alrighty. So I had actually quite a few people message me asking how I stay motivated. And I thought this was a really interesting question because I don't. I actually have a really hard time getting myself motivated to go to the gym unless I just really want to. So lately with the move and everything, it was kind of hard for me to like get a workout in while we were traveling across the country essentially. But having gotten here and I went and looked for a gym like a couple days after we moved and I found one and I've been going almost every day because that's important to me. But I haven't like been needing motivation, I guess, to go. I just go because I want to and it helps me feel normal, you know, and all the upheaval of moving. But yeah, motivation is kind of a tough one because like we don't always feel motivated. I personally just like doing what feels good for my body and moving is what feels good. So if some days I don't want to go to the gym, like I just really don't want to go for whatever reason, if I just don't feel well, if my body's really sore, whatever it is, I don't force myself to go to the gym. Like I've never been the kind of person who's like, just go, you know, you'll love it. But I just make sure that I move, however that is for that day. All right. Someone else asked, kind of fitness related. I know you said you listen to podcasts when you work out. What are your favorites? So I actually listen to, yes, I don't listen to music when I work out because I don't really, I don't know, it doesn't hype me, I guess. I like listening to podcasts. I really love listening to like NPR, just any of it. I will literally just turn on the NPR One app and just listen to that. But then I also have quite a few podcasts that I love. My absolute number one favorite of all time is the Real Good podcast. I was actually on one of their episodes a few episodes back, so make sure to check that out. Their podcast is all about, it's by my friends Amber and Nat, and I love them. And they mostly just talk about like wellness stuff and they talk about it all, like just everything. Their last episode was about caffeine and if it's good for you. And I just love it because they're really like real, I guess. Called the Really Good Podcast. Hilarious, I know I am. I'm kidding. I'm getting distracted by myself. Anyway, it's a really good podcast. Make sure to check it out. I really like listening to it while I'm working out because it makes me laugh, and then I feel like a crazy person that laughs in the middle of a workout, but whatever, it's funny. I also like to listen to this podcast called Adulting that someone I follow from the UK does. What else do I like? I really like Code Switch from NPR and Dear Sugars from Cheryl Strayed, because she is like, love her so much. So yeah, those are a few of my favorites. How long have you been vegetarian? Did you do it for health, ethical reasons, or both? So I have been a vegetarian for almost 2 years. So in November it'll be 2 years. And I did it for a few reasons. I wanted to be vegetarian since I was like a kid. I've really just always wanted to be vegetarian, and I never did. I think it's my family is just full of meat eaters, and it just like, that's what we ate. And so it just took me a really long time, but then I was in college, and I actually, so it was kind of a process. I first stopped eating red meat, like all red meat, and that was for ethical reasons, because like I never really ate pork growing up, but then cows are actually really bad for the environment, and they produce a lot of carbon in the atmosphere, so I didn't really want to contribute to that anymore, so I stopped eating any red meat about 6 months before I stopped eating all meat. And it was a good transition for me. I never really loved red meat, so it wasn't difficult for me to quit doing that, but it was a nice transition, so I didn't like just instantly stop eating all meat, because like that can be hard on people's bodies, especially if you're like anemic or have an iron deficiency or whatever reason. Anyway, so I stopped eating all meat after that because it didn't really make me feel good. I ate it just because it was there, I guess. But I'm really glad I made the decision to stop. I actually felt after I stopped eating any meat a lot lighter, because I just didn't have that sitting in my gut. So for me it was originally ethical reasons for the environment, and then kind of transitioned into more of a health reason. And I am, lots of people also ask this, I am still just vegetarian. I tend to eat more plant-based. I don't eat a ton of dairy. Like I never have milk or creamer and coffee. I don't do that anyway. But I really love eggs, so that's like a hard thing. And I really love cheese. So eventually, I like to call myself a fake vegan or a wannabe vegan, I guess, because I do want to be vegan, and I will transition that way eventually. But right now, it is a little more difficult. So, what is one of your fitness goals right now? Okay, so I really like this question because I don't have any fitness goals, I guess. I am actually just trying to be okay with my body right now. I think that would be my fitness goal, just because I mean, we spend so much time in our lives like focusing on losing weight. Like I don't know anyone who doesn't want or hasn't wanted at some point in their life or doesn't currently want to lose weight. Like we all want to lose weight, and it is a really like, I think, a toxic mindset to have about like constantly thinking that we weigh too much or that our bodies aren't good that the way that they are. And so I am currently trying to focus on just being okay with how my body is, because I'm never going to be a size 2. I don't even really want to be a size 2. Like it's just not going to happen, and I don't want it to happen. It wouldn't be healthy for me. But for me, what would be healthy is just being okay with what I have. And working out is great and working out is good, but I've spent so long working out to lose weight with a goal like I need to lose X amount of weight or else I'm not good enough. And that's just not true. Like I'm perfectly great the way I am. and I don't need to physically take up less space to be worthy, you know? So I think my fitness goal, in short, would be focusing on being okay with where I am, but also working out because I like it and it's fun and it's really good for me and my mind. It gets my heart rate up and I like that, but not doing it because, oh my God, I have to lose weight, you know, if that makes any sense. All right. So along with that, this next question says, what has helped you with hunger and cravings? So I'm going to take a minute to answer this one because I actually have always struggled with binge eating, for probably since high school. I gained a lot of weight freshman year because I was sad and I'm an emotional eater, and it was a hard transition in my life, and so I ate a lot, and that's how I coped, I guess. So I kind of struggled with binge eating and not having like a healthy relationship with food, and so I want to be careful the way I answer this question because for me, and I think for a lot of us, we binge eat, and we tell ourselves that that's not okay, and then we go through a cycle where we restrict, and then we're telling ourselves we can't have this, we can't have this, we can't have this, and then we don't eat that for so long, and our body's like, wait, no, I really want that, and then we go through another cycle of binging, and it's just like this cycle of binging and restricting and binging and restricting, and it's not healthy mentally, and it's not healthy physically, because restricting your body for what it needs, like cutting out carbs, so stupid to me. Things like that. So I think what I would say with hunger and cravings is that there's a reason we have hunger, there's a reason we have cravings, and to not ignore those things. If you want ice cream every night, don't eat ice cream every night, because, or do eat ice cream every night, but just eat it in, my favorite thing that my grandma always says is everything in moderation. Like, there's nothing wrong with eating ice cream every night if you want to. But I say do it in a healthy way. So if I want something and I'm having a bad day, and so I was like, oh, well, I just want ice cream for dinner because I had a bad day, I will think more about that and maybe have a healthier coping skill rather than eating the ice cream. But if I still want ice cream after I've healthily coped with, you know, my bad day or whatever it is, then I'll still have some ice cream. I just probably won't eat the entire case. All right, tips for transitioning to a more plant-based diet. So I already kind of talked about this, like how I transitioned to being a vegetarian, and now how I'm trying to transition to be more vegan. But it's honestly taking it slow. So I took out red meat first. I then took out the rest of all meat. And I think something I didn't do very well when I first became vegetarian was that I didn't plan for, I mean, if you're a meat eater, that takes up a lot of your food. Like, that's a chunk of your meal. So I didn't plan well enough that I transitioned that seamlessly. But I'll give you the tip now that I've done it. Sorry. Anyway, I recommend maybe before cutting out the meat, introducing, or cutting out the dairy or whatever it is, introducing those things that you could use to replace that. Maybe practicing, I like to make vegan meals, so I'm not strictly vegan, but I'll make meals oftentimes that are solely plant-based. And I'll eat those, like, I mean, I never eat cheese, but I eat a lot of eggs. Not never eat cheese. I never buy cheese. I only have it when I go out. Which is another good tip, is I never buy cheese. I only have cheese if I go somewhere, or if I'm, like, at someone's house. So that's a good tip, is just not buying those things, but then buying other things to introduce to it. So if you're making a salad, salads can be boring. I make them really good. Also put that in that video. But something, so cheese makes a lot of flavor in a salad if you don't have a lot of flavor. So instead of having cheese, put in some nutritional yeast or some seasonings and introduce those other things, olive oil, into a salad that can kind of make it a little bit more interesting. Hopefully that was helpful. Oh, I did want to recommend one more thing. Actually, I remembered before I hop off. So a lot of what I talked about was about getting your mind right. Because I think that's been revolutionary for me. Working out is part of that. Eating healthy is part of that. But then also along with that is, I mean, wellness is not just about how much you weigh, what you eat, how much water you drink, even though I will tell you every day, drink your water. But it's also about being healthy in your mind. And as someone who suffers from a lot of anxiety, I have found a lot of help in talking to a therapist. And I know there's a lot of stigma around that, but it's really good for you. Even if you don't suffer from a mental disorder, seeing a therapist has really helped me. And it helps a lot of people, you know. It's super stigmatized, but it shouldn't be, because it's just talking about your feelings with someone who knows, who has the training to help you process them. So I actually have partnered with BetterHelp for the last little while. And they are an online resource for therapy, which I love, because therapy isn't always accessible, because sometimes it might be hard for people to get to therapy for whatever reason. And money is another issue there. But BetterHelp is actually, I think, pretty fairly priced, more accessibly priced, as well as it being online, so that you can get to therapy without actually having to go anywhere, which can be the hardest part for some people. So I will leave a link below in the little description box for that. I think that is really a good resource, and I would definitely recommend it. Yeah, thanks for listening, watching, whatever. This has been fun, answering all your questions. I know I've been all over the place, but I think it's been fun. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.